Hello and good day. Today we have an exclusive interview with two very prominent historical figures, Agoda Kamikayoshi. Konami?
Thank you, Sam Rain. I'm with John Locke and Thomas Hobbes. Welcome, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
To begin, Mr. Locke, what is your stance on human nature?
Well, by nature, I would say man is imperfect, but can also be a social and...
Social?
Yes, social, may I continue, sir?
If you insist.
Splendidly shown through his little outburst. Man is imperfect, and...
Hold on a minute.
You're just proving my point.
Your point is a perfect example of how dim-witted and obtuse human nature is. Our current state of war is proven with you disagreeing about how right I am on the matter.
Two persons disagreeing is in no way war. It's an example of imperfection.
Okay, next question. How does man deal with conflict, Mr. Hobbes?
Yes. Well, as demonstrated countless times throughout history, man does not know good and evil, and can only work together when under the power of a monarch.
You think man can't reason?
Man is so simple as to need someone to reason for them.
Just because you're unreasonable doesn't mean everyone else is.
Excuse me? I graduated from Oxford with a major in philosophy.
Well, so did I.
Oh, I did it first.
First the worst, second the best.
Gentlemen! Please try and behave yourselves. We're on worldwide television.
What's television?
That doesn't matter right now. We were trying to move on to the subject of your social contract, Mr. Hobbes.
I believe we just asked him about his ideas on conflict. It's my turn. And I feel that we can reason as a race and we can work together in harmony. We are not perfect, but imperfections lead to a better, smoother way of life.
Are you through?
Well, yes, but...
On to a more correct opinion?
Excuse me, sir, but there's no such thing as an incorrect opinion. Unless, of course, you believe that a country can flourish without some sort of ruler. Then you're more daft than this man right here.
I agree with that opinion. Never thought I'd say it, but I believe the opinion was a bit premature.
What, like your birth?
Excuse me? At least I fathered legacy.
I fathered liberalism, you fathered snot-nosed brats, and my father didn't desert me.
Control yourselves! Time for some commercial messages.
Does your life suck? Do you ever wish you could start over, but you aren't able to move on? We here at Epistemology Incorporated have the solution. Introducing the Tabula Rasa, the new and enhanced technology that everyone dreams about. Just pop it in where your heart should go and boom! Your sad life is officially gone and you can start anew. Don't believe us? Just ask this satisfied customer.
Hi, I'm not gonna tell my name for insurance purposes, but I bought more Tabula slates than I can count. I thought I was screwed when I killed my ex-boyfriend, but now new Tabula slates, new life, new beginning.
Order your Tabula Rasa today and escape to freedom. Warning, side effects include but are not limited to palpitations, blood, heart attacks, nausea, and death. Not necessarily in that order. If any problems occur with the product, we are not liable. If you're paying attention, hi, Mr. Valentine, give us an A. Product sold only in Canada. Nowhere else. Don't ask on the threat of execution. See, don't justice and 9 minutes of the Jaeger. Thank you. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
And we are back. If you are now just joining us, I have with me Mr. Thomas Hobbes and Mr. John Locke. They're in a heated debate about their conflicting opinions on human nature. You may continue if you keep cool heads.
Yes,
It's just
sorry.
pardon my outburst.
Thank you. Mr. Hobbes, you may continue.
Yes, as I was saying, I believe that no matter how hard you try to fight my point, the human race will never be able to reason for themselves, and they will never be able to function without a monarch or a stable, strict government. Man will always feel the need to fight for what they want, and they do not have the capability to reason for... One moment, sir. I know you have a very different opinion, but let me finish, and I promise I will do the same for you.
Thank you, sir. Please continue.
Thank you. As I was saying, during the English Civil War and Oliver Cromwell's monarchy and military dictatorship, all I saw was strict ruling, and there was no real reason for what I was seeing.
That is a good point. We were born during different times. I was alive during the Glorious Revolution and the Protestant Reformation. I saw the human race flourish, and life was very positive. There were smiles and Christmas. Overall, the atmosphere throughout Europe was very outright.
In other words, you lived in an easier time than I did, so it makes complete sense why you're more optimistic than I am.
Not easier, just different.
I did say easier.
It was going so well.
And it still is. We're just having a conversation.
Speaking of a good conversation, freedom of speech and other liberties. With my social contract, peasants and common people are allowed to rebel against government without harsh repercussions, as long as they are civil about it. It's a two-way deal. I mean, just look at America. They base their government around my ideals, and now they are one of the most powerful countries in the world. I do believe that people should give up some of their rights, but their right to life, liberty, and property should be unobstructed by the system that we live under. Government should act under the consent of the people. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, father of Romanticism, you may have heard of him, and I both support the idea of general will, or common good.
You and Rousseau, please, you're just romantics that are able to support America, the runaway country that it is. In my social contract, society is kept orderly through strict rules that cannot be broken because life is poor, nasty, brutish, and short. You shouldn't have the right to rebel, as rebelling makes you even more unsafe. You cannot go against the sovereign. Being alive during the English Civil War, as I said earlier, I saw two different types of ruling. While I do not believe in the divine right of kings, I also do not fully support Oliver Cromwell's military dictatorship. I believe that I represent a fair compromise. Power should be shared between Parliament and the king, and they should be able to represent and govern and rule a country as one. I am considered as a radical conservative, and my social contract, which leads to my 4-part series, The Leviathan, goes through with the idea that civil peace and social unity are best common defense. The Leviathan goes through with the idea that civil peace and social unity are best achieved by a sovereign power responsible for the security of the Commonwealth and ensure common defense. You see, I entail the Commonwealth as an artificial person and must be controlled by a common force. My Leviathan!
Okay, looks like it's time for another commercial break. Stay tuned.
Interested in the crazy world of political science? As a colorful royalist, Thomas Hobbes wrote this book while hiding in France. Everyone, including the royalists themselves, were against Hobbes' work because of his tendency to stray to the other side. His ideas were so complex that it took ideas from both sides, but made them his own. The Leviathan, representing an enforcer of peace and justice, can be interpreted as a cry for help in government. Get a copy now. It's always nice to bring in your inner rebel and buy a book that was charged for treason. And let us not forget about the amazing sea monster references.
Hello and welcome back. Unfortunately, we've reached an end to our program. To recap a bit, we had Thomas Hobbes and John Locke debating on subjects such as the social contract and human nature. Thomas Hobbes and John Locke's ideas became the start of liberalism, which contributed to later rebellions in Europe. Liberalism was also one of the key causes of the Russian Revolution and World War I. From World War I, the seeds of World War II were planted. Although Hobbes' social contract is far-fetched compared to the ones we use in America today, Locke's social contract and his ideas are still used in our government. And hopefully will be for a long time. I'm Kanama Kiyoshi signing off.